Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I have a super special guest, ebaby.
Hey.
Make sure you subscribe to her. Her channel is absolutely amazing. I will link that below. And while you're doing that, make sure you subscribe to me and give this a thumbs up.
Yes, this is gonna be a good video. It's good advice. I think people need to be careful when they judge people because it's really important, you know, like human connection is one of the thing that really can make us whole. Judging people is not something you should do because we always judge them on like a little thing, right? And everyone makes mistakes. We all have things that we do wrong sometimes because we're humans, you know, and like no one is perfect. We're all learning, and defining someone by their mistake is just not the way to look at things. Because imagine if like people just always defined you by your mistakes, and I'm sure some people do, and like, you know, haters, that's what they do. And like when that happens, we don't like it, and we're like, it's not fair. And it's the same for these people. That's the same way they feel. And if you let people in, you don't have to agree with everything that they do, but you should always try to support people in any way you can, because this is how it becomes like reciprocated. Reciprocated.
Yeah,
I speak French. But yeah, that's how people will want to help you too, and you'll see the good in them, you know. Like you have to let people show you the good in them. You can't judge them too harshly or too quickly.
I totally agree with that. And I think that we don't have the right to judge other people. Like if they aren't hurting themselves and they're not hurting anyone else, why do you care what they're doing, you know?
Exactly. And if they are, in that sense, like if they are hurting themselves or hurting others, still, like obviously they're in a bad place, you know? And like what they need is someone to be there and help them get out of that place, not someone judging them and telling them mean things, you know. Like they probably get it, like that they're not doing good because like they're in a bad headspace, you know. Like, or maybe they don't get it, but you're not gonna listen if someone's just bashing on you, you know. Like you have to have some compassion and empathy for people to be able to grow, you know.
100%. Like you don't, what's the point? Like so many people are in so many tricky situations, and for somebody to be judgmental and to have that negative attitude, they're probably feeling pretty sad inside.
Yeah, and it's just they don't feel comfortable to share their experience and where they're coming from if you're attacking them, you know.
Totally. You only know what you know, and a lot of people aren't raised in a home where they learn how to process their thoughts and feelings and emotions, so they lash out. You know, I was listening to this podcast, I believe it was Tony Robbins the other day, and he was talking about road rage, and he was saying road rage itself isn't really a real thing. Like it's just people who have things bottled up, who are angry inside, using it as an outlet. And I feel like that's the same way for when people are bad towards you.
It's like people don't really know how to express their feeling a lot of the time, and our anxiety will bottle up and will lash out in some ways. Like some people they're very aggressive, some people will just cut you off, some people will just let it slide and not say anything, you know, pretend like everything's fine, and like they'll do that until like they can't do it anymore, you know. And it never comes out right when you're at that level of being very anxious, and often these people feel like their feelings are not valid, so like they try to say it but they just don't understand how to say it, and they just feel angry at themselves, and then that anger is projected like into the world.
I think that's so true, and I think that's something you should really think back to, because if you are in a situation where you feel like you're being judged unreasonably so, I don't think you should be judged for anything, and if you feel like you're being bullied or you're in that situation, just think about what Erica and I are saying. It's probably because that person is really not happy inside, and you need to look at it like that and be like, you know what, this isn't a me problem. Like I just feel sad for them, and I really hope that they get the help that they need.
Exactly.
Honestly, we've all been there. We've all judged other people. We're humans, and we've all been judged ourselves.
And that's the thing, we're never always happy. Like every once in a while we all get in a bad place, so it's kind of hypocritical to be judging other people for things that, yeah, maybe you don't do the exact same thing, but you definitely do things that aren't perfect. Like sometimes, you know, like no one's always perfect, so like you cannot judge people harshly.
No, and I think that communication is so important. And if you feel like you are being judged, or if you feel like maybe you're the one who's like judging other people, like feel free to have that open, honest conversation. I think there's such a strength to be able to admit you're wrong, or just really process through your feelings, because it's so important to talk it out. And like, as I was mentioning in my self-love video with Gwen, if you haven't watched that, you should give that a watch. There's so many mental health resources out there right now that are free, you know. COVID.
That's true. Yeah, you told me about that. That's amazing. Like if you're in Canada, like you have to, like, I think everyone should see a therapist. I say that, but like I'm not. She just told me about the fact that it was free, and I'm definitely gonna sign up for it now. Because right now it's free for COVID, and I think everyone should see a therapist, even when they're feeling good, because that's the way to keep feeling good, you know, like not just when you're in a crisis that you should see a therapist. You need to stay healthy. It's like you have to always like see a doctor like pretty much like once a year to check like if everything's fine, you know, like
totally.
And that's just like your body it's easy, you know, if your arm is broken, you know, like you can see it, it's physical. But like mental health, it's hard because you can't see it. We don't fully understand it. Like you don't know if something's broken inside of you, like you like in your spirit, you know, like
it's so true. And like you're saying, I totally believe everybody should go to therapy. I talk to a therapist every single week, even when I'm the happiest of my highs. Like I still do it because it's always good to have someone to talk to help you process through all your emotions and feelings. And I also find journaling is really amazing. So I've talked to a lot of people who want to talk to a therapist but just don't know what to say, don't know where to start. Get a journal, sit down, start writing. Even if it's about like you had the most boring day, just like I woke up, I had some cereal, blah blah blah, things will eventually start flowing, and that's when your inner emotions really come out. Like that's what I do personally, that helps a lot.
Yeah, I personally don't write journals. Like I've tried, I'm not really good at that, but like sometimes I feel really mad or angry or something like that, and I know that it might not be something that I should tell the person right now, so like I'll write down like my feelings and emotion, and as I write them I'm like, okay, maybe I'm being like too harsh, you know, maybe I'm being too emotional right now, like I'm feeling hurt, and why am I feeling like this? Like what is this triggering? Like, you know, like why am I so triggered right now? And
there's
it helps you know yourself and understand yourself, like
because it can be hard to really understand like why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and we all go through that, and it's totally okay to talk about that. Like I just want to really normalize therapy and the idea of talking about mental health, and the idea that none of us are perfect, and we all have like weird things going on in our brains. Our brains are so freaking powerful. It's crazy the things that it can make you think.
Exactly. It's like to be able to do everything that we do, like each individual is different obviously, and we all have our strength, but like we have such a complex brain. You can't judge ourselves too hard either. It's normal that we're not completely in control of it, that we don't understand it all, because I don't think it was meant to be understood like this. You can't even see what's happening really. You feel it, like you kind of try to know, but
totally, our brains are so complex. Actually, another fun fact that I learned the other day is it's so important to be kind to yourself and say kind words to yourself, because when you do that, something actually happens in your brain and you rewire like new neural pathways. And
it's kind of like manifestation, like affirmation.
It actually is scientifically proven to change the wiring a little bit in your brain, and that will change your outlook on life. So I think it kind of all ties in with each other.
Yeah, and with manifestation, you make these affirmations that you are this person and that you do big things and like blah blah, etc. Like whatever kind of positive affirmations about yourself that you want to manifest, you have to believe it. Even if you aren't there right now, you are still that person. You still have it in you. All that you have to do is believe in it and take the steps to get towards your goal.
Totally. I actually want to make a whole nother video on manifestation. Maybe we can do that next time, because I am such a huge believer. If you follow me on Instagram at all, which you should, at Ellis May, follow her too, Erica's Life and Style. Shameless promo. But I post about it all the time.
I've only like started getting into it more recently, honestly. Like I've become more spiritual. I really like the app The Pattern for like spirituality. It really helps you. Like it tells you, okay, this is the full moon, and like this is time to set intentions, and like if you're feeling this way, like it might be because you didn't set clear intention, but you might also be feeling really happy if you did. And then they kind of like guide you like on how to navigate towards the times in your life, basically based on like astrology and like psychology and world events.
I'm gonna download that. Yeah, it's called Pattern.
The Pattern, yeah, and it's scary accurate. Like
I honestly believe in all of that stuff. Like everything's energy. We're all energy.
Yeah, we are, exactly.
Like I totally believe. I'm definitely a spiritual person. Like I think there's so much we don't know.
Exactly. You can't just say that you don't believe, because it's just we are all made of energy. We are made of like stardust. Like we've been created like by a big bang, like, and we barely know anything about space. It's so huge. There's so much we don't know that we can't say it's impossible, you know? Like totally. So to me, if it's not impossible, it's possible.
oh, there's so many
I
other
believe it.
planets out there with life. Like, I wonder if there's replicas of humans out there, like similar. Who knows? Like,
I feel like there is like other planets, like with maybe like different kind of humans, but like, or maybe it's another species that like evolved. You know, maybe it's cats.
maybe it's like started on not judging people, ended up maybe there's planets filled with cats.
Don't you imagine? Like
Wow.
just big cats that are like human. Like, imagine one day they like just like come on Earth.
I actually believe aliens have landed on Earth. Hasn't it been proven that like Area 51?
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that. People believe that there's like alien life, or like at least the spaceships. Like there's this big story, I can't remember who the guy was, but he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and like he's been through like lie detectors and everything, and like the CIA and everything, they've tried shutting him down. Like they've erased all his records, as if like this person like never went to school, never did anything, just like to disprove him basically. But like no way, he never did anything, and like classmates say they remember him, you know,
And just
like,
disappeared?
yeah, like, well, no, he didn't disappear because like he's so loud, they can't really make him disappear at this point. But like they try to discredit him as much as they can, so like they made all his records of like schooling and like anything, any jobs like that would make him look like a credible source, like they all like deleted it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And he said that he worked on alien spaceships basically, and that they were like levitating, and he explained like the technology behind it, and he talked about something that just came out recently, like a new, in the periodic table, like there's a like new element, and he talked about it way back in the days that they just found that because of the alien life and everything. And yeah,
I believe it. I totally believe it. Oh, there's so many conspiracy theories I believe in, like even cancer. Like, guys, I totally believe there's a cure for it.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's just, it's such like a valuable market that like I feel like it's a
Billions
lot
of
of that,
dollars.
and like a lot of pharmaceutical like things like that, like
The government
brings
wants to
a lot
make
of money.
I watched this documentary
Kind of
about
like what's happening right now. We can't say it on camera.
yeah, but we all know. So I watched this documentary about, it was a bunch of different people who found the cure for cancer, and they all went missing. And it was just like, there's so much evidence behind it, and they had like, and they're just like into thin air.
Imagine like spending your whole life like trying to find a cure for cancer, and you're like, oh my god, like guys, we found it, and they're like,
so if we go missing, guys, you know who to blame. The government. Oh, if you're watching this, FBI, we're totally joking. Anyway,
love how this went. Really, like, this was
what are we gonna
don't
title
judge
this?
people.
Don't judge people and conspiracy theories. Moral of the story is, don't judge other people. If you are judging other people, I think you should just sit down and figure out exactly the root of why you're doing that.
And try to understand also where these people are coming from, and like try to put yourself in their shoes. And as you said, I think the most important thing is because people need to be supported in these situations. Like you would need to be supported, and when you start creating these connections with people, you start being better with other people and human relations in general, and that will help you be so much more successful. Like when you know how to communicate with people, create that relationship where it's helpful for you both and you want to help each other grow, and then like they introduce you to more people, and that's more connections. And honestly, a lot of jobs nowadays, it's networking, you know, like you have to have good connections, and if you just off everyone, I hate everyone, it's gonna be really hard to succeed, because we're supposed to help each other, we're supposed to be united, like we're stronger when we're united.
I totally agree with that. And guys, everyone just love each other, don't judge each other, be nice, connect, and the world will be a better place.
Yeah, because honestly, like you never really know, like we can't, there's not one single truth, and everyone has their own truth, and you shouldn't judge anyone too harshly because it doesn't define who they are. It's everyone's on their own path, everyone's trying as best as they can to figure this life thing out, and
there's no rule book on how to live a perfect life, so we just gotta try to be 1% better every day, you know?
Yeah.
So you guys can do it. We're working on it every day, and I'll link all those mental health resources below. They also have some really great free programs for everything from personal development activities to addictions to like all of these different like anxieties, depression, everything. So check that out too, and you guys have it in you to be amazing. Love you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash that like button. And Erica's too. See you guys later.
Peace.